Here I compiled 12 different videos about Coleus plants, so you will learn everything you need to take care of this plant and grow this plant. As video is very long and maybe you have a specific question about Coleus, I provided different sections of the video here so you can jump to the section you are interested and watch the video. If you love Coleus, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel. Pruning means converting these small Coleus plant into these nice bushy one which is really vibrant, or converting again this small one into these nice, beautiful and bushy one. Coleus are very beautiful plant, but without proper care and pruning they will be laggy, tall and unattractive. By pruning your Coleus plant, you can keep it healthy, bushy, and also you can extend its life to longer by preventing flowering. In next 2 minutes, we will show you effective and simple way to do pruning and make your Coleus happy, healthy, and bushy. First thing, you need a pair of clean scissors. And then just look at the plants. You can start pruning from each nodes. If you want to make it really bushy, like this one, you need to start from first nodes. But if you want to have it a little bit taller than bushy, then make it like tree, you can start with the higher nodes. Like I will start with these here, which is still I will keep 2 nodes, but I'll remove all top ones, which is here. You can see then plants soon will start to grow new stems and branches and leaves from the nodes. To show you exactly what will happen, this is an example of this Coleus, and you can see already is starting to form new leaves. And to show you another example, this is a small Coleus. So even we have only 2 nodes, and still you can do pruning like this. And if you look, this one I did last week and already started to form 2 new branches. So after couple of weeks, these ones will grow to the bigger size, you can see, and they are forming new stems, and after a few months you will have such a nice bushy plant. Gardeners simply like Coleus plant for their beautiful and vibrant color as well as their low maintenance nature. Always you can take your Coleus plant to next level by a few simple steps. In this video we will talk about how to make Coleus plant like 3 big ones that you can keep outdoor as a landscape plant, or a small bonsai like tree to keep indoor. Don't forget that Coleus plants naturally they like to be bushy and landscape plants, but now we want to talk about how to make them tree or bonsai like tree to keep outdoor or indoor. So whether you want bushy, tree like or bonsai like Coleus, you need to choose proper pruning style to make your Coleus to the right shape that you want. Sometimes you have a very well established and grown Coleus plant outdoor or indoor, but it's not in a very well shape. This Coleus is bushy, but is not in a good shape and form. To make it bonsai, you need to do heavy pruning, like this one or this one, not small pruning like this one which I talked in the previous video. Unlike a small pruning, we need to do heavy pruning, and we need to start to remove lower branches and leaves and keep topper ones. We need to think what we want at the end and our desired shape. So I'll start to pruning. You need a pair of clean scissors, and don't worry about plants. I'll start to remove all down branches, lower branches. Remove lower branches one by one. And okay, look, these big branches. What we want to do, I want to keep it small because my plan is to keep this plant indoor. Still, I don't want to grow it too big, which it will take too much space, but still I want to have nice tree and bonsai like structure. I'll start to prune top branches. Just you can prune higher the nodes, and just keep in mind what shape and structure you want to have at the end. Just remove all branches that they are going down. These are not good for the final shape. And just keep in mind to remove all these small leaves and branches, so you don't want to grow here and you want to just make it like tree at the end. Okay, this seems okay. Nice. So that's a first strategy. Please let me know if you like. I can update you with the results after a couple of months. Okay. And to give you an example, I have these old Coleus. This is a 4-year-old Coleus plant, and here I'll show you video on like earlier stage. This was a bushy plant, and it started to shape it like these kind of tree branches while ago, like a few months ago, and it was kind of late, but still you can see the trunk is not a stem anymore, is not, and became a trunk and so solid. Next type of Coleus is make a big tall like tree, like this one or this one. They are very gorgeous. For that reason you don't need to start heavy pruning from this one that we started from top and bottom. You need the tall plant just growing tall like this one, and start to pruning all lower leaves and branches like this one, and continue until top 4 or 5 leaves. Okay, here you can see you need to give plant time to grow taller and taller. So there is a point. Coleus is fragile, so if you want to keep it outdoor, you need to provide support. It could be a piece of wood and just as a support for the main stem. After a while, this stem become trunk. There are a few points that could help your plants. Keep it like, you can repot, keep watering regularly. It should get some direct sunlight. It could be morning sunlight or bright place, or it could be LED, and you need to keep fertilizing or repotting and provide a stand if you keep it outdoor. As we have hundreds of Coleus varieties, you can choose the right variety for your purpose. Some of them they have bigger leaves, some they have smaller leaves, some they could grow taller, and some could be nice looking when they are bushy. It depends on what you want. You can choose different varieties. Finally, don't waste your Coleus cuts and leaves. And if you want to learn how to propagate Coleus and make some new nice plants with amazing roots and propagate many new plants from cuts and leaves and seeds, please watch this video. 3 ways to successfully propagate Coleus plants. First from cuts, second leaves, and finally seeds. I'll tell you which kind of potting mix I'm using to increase success of propagation. First strategy is using cutting. Sometimes you have established plant is big enough, and also you want to make a new plant as fast as possible. So for example, I have these beautiful purple Coleus, which is big enough if I want to make another plant as soon as possible, like in a fastest way possible, so I'll take cut. But to take cut, you don't need to take a big branch or like big cuts. You need 2 to 4 leaves at the top and 1 node without leaves. For example, if you look at these plants here, we have 2 leaves and 4 leaves and 6 leaves, so we will have basically 3 nodes. Just you need to take it. So these will be our cut, okay? And what you need to do, just remove these leaves, bottom leaves, okay, and keep 1 node here without leaves, basically, and 2 leaves, or here we have basically 6 leaves, but these 2 are very small. And then you can put it in water, like these beautiful plants, or in potting mix, like this one, so they will grow fast. And also this will help the mother's plant to be bushy and make new branches. The good things for these nodes is that they can generate both roots and leaves and buds and like new branches. So if you have nodes, we will increase the chance of success. But it doesn't mean if you don't have the nodes, we will not have roots. To show you example, this is an example that I took it a few weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and you can see very nice root systems. And these basically leaves are new, and after 3 weeks you can see there are like many healthy roots here. And this is a place that we have node, and you can see many roots are coming out from that place, but you can see we have roots other part of the stem. So roots will be better in the node side, but still they can grow from other parts of the stem. And this is very happy. This is like 3 weeks, and this is like 40 days. So all of my experience shows that putting cuttings directly in potting mix will give you faster results. Like in 3 weeks, this could be a much larger plant in a potting mix than in a water. But also you can keep them in water. They will look amazing, beautiful. If you can see, I don't know you can see or not, these are in the water for 10 days and they already started to like roots, and some of them they have a really nice big roots. And also you can keep them for a while, like 2, 3, even sometimes I kept them for 5, 6 months in water, as they look amazing, nice combinations. But still putting them in a potting mix, like in a soil, will give you better results. Second is using leaves to propagate Coleus. Sometimes you have a plant like this beautiful lady, and you don't want to take many branches or cuts, or you have one plant and you want to propagate many from the same plant. So best way is taking leaves. So for taking leaves, just you need to choose one healthy leaves like this one, and just pinch it off or take it or cut it exactly the place binds to or attached to stem, like this. Nice one. Okay, so you need to put it in water. So this is useful when you are not in rush to establish plant and you want to propagate many plants. Look what I did. These are bunch of Coleus leaves, and I put them in the pot with the water, and you can see basically all of them, they formed roots, healthy roots, and they will grow when they're putting them in a potting mix, and they will form new plants, and this is for a week, not longer than that. So you can see like most of them, or basically kind of all of them, they are producing new roots, which is quite interesting, and it could be very useful way to propagate Coleus. And I just use like different varieties of Coleus, and all of them, they had very nice success. Again, I suggest to start directly with the potting mix. It will be faster, but the advantage here is that you don't need to have many pots. You will put it in water for a while, they will generate roots, and you don't need to like have 30 or 20 or 10 pots to propagate this number of leaves. So advantage is that you can do it in a large scale for many leaves. You can. Disadvantage is that it's not very fast way to establish plant. Okay, third strategy to propagate Coleus plants are seeds. So sometimes you have to do seeds. For example, this beautiful lady is dying. Okay, so there is no way other than seeds to propagate this plant. I love it. It's very nice pattern, but unfortunately it's dying. One way to keep Coleus plants alive is just removing these flowers, but if you remove them, it will start to produce more and more. So at one point it's not possible to keep this plant alive, and you need to allow the plant to die and produce hundreds, if not thousands of seeds, and start again. So I tested like different way. I took the cuts from this mother plant, and you can see these small plant start to grow, but again immediately produce flowers, and again trying to die. And also you can see success rate is not very good for these old plants that they start flowering. So good thing with the flowering the seeds is that you can sow many of them, like hundreds of them, and get many plants, but it's slow. But sometimes there is no way to keep Coleus plant, and sometimes there is way. Maybe I will cover it in another videos, like these beautiful bonsai like Coleus that I have it for 4 years. It's became like tree wood like stem. So I'll show you the seeds. They are very tiny, small black seeds, which you saw them. These tiny seeds are Coleus seeds. These are small black ones. Potting mix moist, not too much watering, but it should be moist, not direct sunlight. And after a few days or weeks, they will start to make new plants. Okay, for potting mix, normally what you need a pot with a very well drainage. Look at this really nice pot. It's a 4 or 5 inch pot, and you need a potting mix. This potting mix is a regular potting mix with 15 to 20% perlite to help drainage in the pot. So it's easy. Just this one, that's one with the established roots. Just I'm removing these two new two old leaves. You need to make a nice space for the plant and put it there. Just be careful. Keep in mind you need to put a little bit pressure to make it very tight in a place. And same thing for new plants, just because here the pot is small, so I will prefer to remove these 2 leaves, and we will have 2 nodes and still 4 leaves, too big and too small. And same thing, you can just put it here, make it tight in the place. Okay, and these also leaves, same thing. You can put it in water or just directly put it in a potting mix. Easy way to propagate. And just give it enough water and keep it with the indirect sunlight. So I'll show you some examples of these new plants that are propagated in this way. Look at this one. It's very well established. It has been around like less than 3 weeks. So they started to produce new leaves and they are gorgeous. So this strategy will work for all Coleus plants, no differences, but I recommend not putting all of them together because some of them are growing faster, some of them growing slower in a propagation. So if some grow big enough, like too big sizes, make some problem with the smaller one to get enough light. The way most successful strategy is cut and put it in a potting mix and with enough water, not over watering because it will be disaster, it will be rotten and you will not get anything. But with enough water, cuttings, putting in potting mix, it means more than 95% success. And also keep putting in water or just leaves, you will get very, very high rate of success. There are many people out there believe LED lights are not good enough to be used for plants. And they think HPS lights means high pressure sodium lights or bulbs are way better than LEDs. In this short video, I'll show you real results on this LED light that I'm using it for 2 years for my plants. To test these LED lights, I used 8 different varieties of Coleus plants. To tell you more about Coleus plants, Coleus are outdoor or landscape plants, which they need good amount of light to be happy and have a colorful leaves and grow to be bushy. And it's nice to say I'm living in Canada and right now is in December, so there is no way to have enough light from sun to these plants or keep them outdoor. So let's jump into the results. This is a Hydro Mars LED light. I'm using it. I bought it more than 2 years ago, and after 2 years it didn't lose quality. And look at the colors of these variety of Coleus. Look at this one and this one, and you can see all of them, they have their best foliage color and they are very vibrant, exactly like those grow indoor and using normal sunlight. And here you can see, look at this purple color, is totally purple. And to do comparison, you can compare with this part of the plant which it doesn't get enough light. You can see clearly leaf is more green, but this side you can see it's closer to light, it's really purple. And also keep in mind that these LED lights, they have a 30 to 40% more efficiency than HPS light and generate less heat in comparison with the HPS lights. Look at these Coleus is less than 15 to 20 centimeters away from the source of light, but nothing burned and leaves are totally happy and healthy. So this LED light is perfect for these plants, and you can see I'm keeping at least 8 plants happy and bushy. They are not laggy and they kept their color in the best way. But keep in mind there are many LED lights out there which many of them are not good enough. Wrong way of fertilizing your Coleus plant may kill your plant, but the proper approach will make your plant stunning with the nice shades and beautiful leaves. To show you what's the proper fertilizing approach, you can see this photo, and after 1 month, exactly 28 days, you can see how much these plants grown and they are happy. So stay with me in next few minutes to give you all details about the proper fertilizing your Coleus plants. I will cover all details in four sections. First, what's the best fertilizer for Coleus, Second, how many times you need to fertilize your Coleus. Third is about customizing your plant based on what you want. And fourth is how to prevent root burning. First sections, among the fertilizers, Coleus will be very happy with the general fertilizers, means NPK. NPK means nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. First one is a nitrogen. Nitrogen will help your Coleus to develop more leaves and healthier leaves. So if you want to have more leaves, you need to have higher nitrogen content in your fertilizers. Second is a phosphorus or P. This one is important for flowering. If you check these, Coleus is flowering, so if you add more P in your fertilizer, you will get higher amount of flowers. And third one is a K, which is a potassium. Potassium is helping to have a more healthy plant, which is more resistant to diseases. And also these will help nutrition's movement in the plant, and also protein synthesis and other processes, which helps your plant to be healthy and happy and disease resistant. So I think NPK is a proper and nice fertilizer for Coleus plants. Here I have NPK 20-20-20. It means the portion or amount of each nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium in these water soluble general fertilizer. I have this one which is 24-8-16, so it has high level of nitrogen, and the reasons that I'm using this one is mostly for indoor plants that I want to have more leaves but less roots, or less phosphorus, which it means less flowering, because I don't want my Coleus to start flowering. Usually when Coleus start to flowering at the end, they will die. But if you need to push more flowering in your plants, so you need to have higher phosphorus fertilizer. I'm not advertising for these fertilizers anyway, but I'll put the link of these and other fertilizers in the description, so you can check whether you want them or not. Second section is how many times you need to fertilize your Coleus. So that's depend whether you keep your Coleus indoor or outdoor. I'm talking about outdoor first, then I will complete it with the indoor pots. For outdoor, usually Coleus waking up and start to grow in spring. So you need to have more fertilizer in spring, like once a month or every 2 weeks. It's perfect for Coleus. And at the end, keep in mind, Coleus are very resistant. They don't need too much, but adding these fertilizer will help them to be stunning and vibrant in your garden. After that, summer is a peak growing season for Coleus, so you need to keep more fertilizer, add fertilizer, like general fertilizer in a garden, like 10-10-10 or NPK 20-20-20 every month or every 2 weeks. That's depend on your schedule, but these will help your plants to grow better. And in the fall, you can decrease fertilizer. Basically, plants temperature is going down, they will get less light, so they need less fertilizer. You can do it every 6 or every 10 weeks. At the end, if you keep Coleus in indoor where it's cold, or you don't have too much light, you don't need to fertilize them. But here is important about indoor Coleus. If you are living in a place which temperature is high, you will get the sunlight, or you have artificial lights like me, or combination of both, so you can fertilize them like once a month. And you can see here I kept this plant in winter, and you can see they are really bushy and happy. Even in the winter, they are growing very nicely. So let's talk about third section, which is a customize your pot. Always think, what do you want from your Coleus? You want to have a bushier plants in a smaller pots. If you keep your plant in a smaller pot and you want to have more leaves, so you need to add more nitrogen than others. When you keep your coleus indoor, usually you have small pots, so you don't want to push too much roots, but you want to have a bushier plant, so add more nitrogen, like what I'm doing for my indoor plants. Second one, for example, you want to transplant your plant from indoor pots in spring or any season to outdoor and your garden. So it will be a good idea to add more phosphorus, because phosphorus or P will help plants to extend more roots, and those roots are important for plants growth outdoor. So try to add more general fertilizer with the high P or phosphorus few weeks before transplanting them outdoor. Last section is about preventing root pruning. Always read this instruction on your general fertilizer to have a proper dilution. After that, when you have a right dilution of your fertilizer, you need to make an even distribution in your pot or garden. Third thing is that it's better to fertilize when your soil or potting mix is moist. That will help a plant to absorb nutrition in a better way. And finally, when you are fertilizing your plant, try to use good amount of water or proper dilution. And if you have any sign of root burning, maybe you need to repot your plant in the new pot with new potting mix to keep plants alive. Repotting is an essential task which allows your coleus to reach to its full potential. Today we will walk you through a step-by-step process and share some tips for best repotting. First step in repotting your coleus is gathering necessary materials. You need larger pots, which is better to be one size bigger than current pot, which is this one. A larger pot will provide more space for roots to grow. Keep in mind your pot needs to have a proper drainage holes at the bottom, so after watering, water can pass through the pots easily. Finally, you need potting mix. What I'm using is a mix of perlite and the potting mix. I'm using 20 to 30% of perlite and 70 to 80% potting mix. You need to mix them very well. Mix up this potting mix and perlite will help to have a better drainage and at the same time too much organic materials which keep moisture in the pot. We keep coleus in plastic pots or ceramic pots. First I'm talking about the plastic pots. For plastic pots, you can squeeze plastic pot to loosen potting mix. Here is our coleus that months ago I did heavy pruning. So now I want to transfer it to new pots and boost its growth. And keep in mind, best time for repotting is when potting mix is moist or dry. Never do repotting after watering. After squeezing my plant easily detached from plastic pot, I'm getting trunk and I'll tilt the whole plant and you can see this is my plant. That's plant, everything is nice. So I will try to loosen a little bit the old potting mix. You don't have to do it. Always take a moment and check your root system. If there is a big problem, if the roots are not happy, you can prune roots to induce new growth. This is a new pot which is a little bit bigger than previous one, so it can provide more space for roots to grow, and also it will provide more nutrition for plant to boost its growth. So just I want to see how much I need to put potting mix below the plant. So you need to fill bottom of your pot with this prepared potting mix. And then put your plant there and make it stable. In previous pots, plant wasn't very straight. I want to make it straight in the middle. You can start to add potting mix. Make sure to fill all gaps, and you can gently press around the plant to see whether it needs any more additional potting mix or not. Okay, so you need to give enough water. Giving enough amount of water, it will help potting mix to settle, and also it will help plant to recover from this shock much faster. What I showed is for plastic pots. For ceramic pots, it's a little bit more difficult. You need to tap ceramic pots at the side and the bottom, and make a space between ceramic pots and potting mix. Or sometimes you need to maybe loosen potting mix with something. Then you can take the plants and tilt it. Then you can remove plants and transfer it to new pot. By the way, around months ago, this Coleus was bushy plant, so I tried to make it like tree or bonsai like Coleus through heavy pruning. And if you want to know how I did it, please watch this video. Overwintering Coleus. Whether you want to keep your Coleus until next warm season, or you want to keep Coleus indoor all year long, this video is for you. Possibly like me, you have a bunch of beautiful Coleus and you want to keep them, or you want to make your living space more colorful with these lovely plants. I will divide this video in two main sessions. First, how to bring Coleus indoor, and second, how to properly care these plants over winter or all year long. In the first part, let's talk about how we can bring indoor our Coleus and how to prepare them for next season. There are three different ways to do that. First, through cutting. Second, through transferring whole plants indoor. And third way is through harvesting seeds and use those seeds to grow new plants. First one is through cuts. So right now at the end of the warm season, or if you have outdoor plant and you want to bring indoor, usually we have a bushy and nice and fully grown Coleus plant. So you have enough stems to get many cuts. But don't worry, even if you don't have a big Coleus and you have a small Coleus and still you want to propagate or bring it indoor, you can use very small cuts. If you look at these tiny cuts that I made like 10 days ago, and you can see they are very happy, and I'm pretty sure they're rooted very well. They are not wilted, and you can see very small ones. So that means Coleus are very efficient to do cutting and bring them indoor. But to give you another example, so these are Coleus I grown from cuts, and now I want to make this plant bushy and keep it indoor all year long for myself. So as I told you, you can start with very small cuts. You can have 2 to 4 leaves at the top, remove other leaves and keep the plant. So you can start with the small cuts. But as I want to make this plant bushy, I'll prefer to start from lower nodes like here. So basically I will have 1, 2, 3, 4 nodes, and immediately here I will cut the Coleus. So we will have a main plants, stems and leaves will grow and make our plant bushy, and we have these new cuts. So just you need to remove leaves and keep 2 to 4 leaves at the top. Here I will prefer to remove these 2 and keep these 4 small leaves, and you need to put it in the water and wait for a couple of weeks to see roots. After that, you can keep it for a few months, transfer it to pot. And what I'm using as a potting mix is normal potting mix plus 20 to 30% perlite. Also, there is a video, I'll put it here in the card, that later you can come back and go watch that video, that I showed always to propagate Coleus from cuts, from leaves, cuts directly into potting mix, or even using seeds. You need to keep cuts with the water in a bright place, not direct sunlight, and change water every few days. And when it's ready, when it's when you see enough root system and happy roots, then you can transfer it into pots, in a small pot. And after a while that it start to grow, you can do pruning like what we did right now. So that's the first way to bring cuts from Coleus outdoor and keep it indoor and prepare it for next warm season. By the way, if you like my videos, please subscribe to my channel. You can see here more than 80% of my viewers not subscribe to my channel. So please subscribe to my channel to make this community bigger and bigger. Second is transferring whole plants indoor. Absolutely, I prefer this way because that plant is fully grown and it could be very beautiful in your living space. Whether plant is in your garden or in a pot, you can transfer it in a nice pot and bring it indoor. But you need to do few things. First thing is heavy pruning. Normally Coleus grow too big outdoor, and possibly you don't have enough space to keep whole big plant indoor. So heavy pruning will help to make your plant in shape and also generate many cuts that you can grow in water, and you can generate your desired shape like tree or bonsai like Coleus. I will put the video on this card to how do heavy pruning on Coleus and make them in a bonsai or tree like structure. Heavy pruning will help your plant to be smaller, and then you will save too much space. Just you need to keep these Coleus plants in a bright place with some direct sunlight, and and it will grow during the cold season, and immediately in a warm season like spring or summer you can transfer again to outdoor. Third way is to harvest seeds. Sometimes you have a Coleus outdoor, is a gorgeous beautiful one, but start to generate flower spikes, and you can see many flower spikes. In these cases I will not recommend to bring these Coleus indoor. Normally Coleus plants will die after generating many of these flower spikes, but you need to wait that flower spikes to be mature. You need to wait for flower spikes to be dark and mature like these ones or these ones, and then you can separate seeds like here, and I will show you these small tiny black seeds of Coleus. It's really easy to grow Coleus from seeds. It's a little bit a slow process and it takes time, but it's very easy. You need to put seeds on the potting mix and add water. And you can see here 10 days ago, around 2 weeks ago, I just put these seeds on a potting mix, I add water, and here you can see after around 10 days to 2 weeks, we have these small tiny plants which in 2 or 3 months they will convert into these lovely Coleus plants. So if you grow Coleus over winter from seeds, it takes few months, and when they are grown to bigger size, they are ready to transfer outdoor in a warm season. So that's our first sessions, that you can bring Coleus indoor and how you can grow Coleus from cuts or keep whole plants or start with the seeds. But need to know how to keep Coleus happy and growing over winter or all year long indoor. Most important things about Coleus is the light. Coleus will perform best in the bright place with some direct sunlight. South side window will be perfect, but other windows will do well for Coleus. If you don't have too much space or window or enough light, you can use artificial plants grow large with plants grow large, which I will put the video here, that at the end you can go back and check this video, which in this video I showed the all LED lights that I used in past 4 years. I need to say that there are not only LED lights in the market, there are many different LED lights and other LED lights that you can use. But best option is a bright place with some direct sunlight. Second thing that we need to care about Coleus is the temperature, but that's not a big problem indoor, because usually indoor is not very cold. But if you are keeping them in some place that's not very warm, you should be careful, because Coleus don't like cold weather. After light, second important things for Coleus is the watering. Always underwatering is better than overwatering for Coleus. If you do overwatering, you will get rotten roots and your plant will die. So always let's to see the potting mix is dry, at least upper part of the potting mix is dry, then add water to your Coleus plants. And don't worry if your Coleus are wilted, because they will recover perfectly. I have more than 100 videos on show how a wilted Coleus can recover in 2 or 3 hours. Fourth is a pruning. Pruning will help you to keep your plant in shape. Usually if you have a place that you don't have too much light, or you don't have a proper light, your Coleus will start to be tall and laggy, and pruning it will help them, and it will help you to keep them in shape, and also it will help you to make them bushy for next season, or even if you are keeping them indoor, to make them very beautiful and in shape plants. Fifth is fertilizing. If you are keeping your Coleus all year long indoor, or if you are keeping your Coleus over winter, but you have enough sunlight or very bright place, so your Coleus could grow very well. After a few months that you transfer them into pots with the new potting mix, after a few months you can start to fertilize them. It could be once a month, but in many cases that you want to transfer them to outdoor in the spring or summer, you don't need to add fertilizer. Finally is air circulation. Normally there is no problem with air circulation, and Coleus could manage could manage with your condition. But sometimes if there is no air circulation, and if you keep overwatering, that could make problem for Coleus through rotten roots, and plant will die. So always keep in mind that sometimes air circulations will help your plant to be happy. Good news for us is spring is around. Now it's time for us to choose the best strategy how to propagate Coleus and be prepared for warm season, and make your garden colorful, or like in my case, make my balcony full of Coleus with different colors. So there are different ways. I have bunch of seeds from many different varieties of Coleus, and I have my Coleus that I kept during winter. By the way, if you are living in Montreal and if you want seeds, just leave me a comment. I have bunch of seeds for free that I can give them to you. I prefer cuttings for 2 main reasons. First of all, usually establishing plants from cut is much faster. Second, it will make my plants happy and ready for the warm season to be flourished. For example, this is a plant that I kept in winter. You can see it's grown big in these small pots. And you can see in some cases the color is not best and not perfect. It's a little bit wilted, but it's fine. But that's a reason because I kept it a little bit away from window, and it didn't get enough light because I had many other Coleus. But so with the pruning of these plants, I'll make many new cuts from the same type of same variety, and also I'll boost the growth of this plant. And later, just like I'm giving enough water to this plant, and after a couple of weeks, I'll change potting mix, or I'll add a fertilizer. So In this way I can get many plants, but if you want you can start from seeds. I have a video that you can see in this card that I started from seeds. You can learn how to grow coleus from seeds, but there's a preferred way. And usually another way is to cut coleus and then directly transfer them into potting mix. This is a good strategy because it will establish plants very fast and you are not worried about anything. But for my case, because here in Canada winter is long and still we have a couple of months to have a good temperature for these plants, I don't want to add 100 pots in my apartment, so I'm usually using this kind of water glasses that you can see. I've already took 100 cuts from different variety of coleus that I have, and they will be lovely. They add colors to my apartment, and after 2 or 3 weeks I will get way many plants, many cuts rooted, and then I can directly transfer them into pots, and after a month or 2 I can transfer them outside. To show you which plants I took these cuts, I can show you. So these are plants that I took cuts. So if you look at here, it's a little bit harsh because I took like at least 30-40 cuts from these one plants, and others that I did heavy pruning, and I'm not worried because these make this plant way more happy. I'll show a video here that you can see. Previously I did pruning on these plants, and after a month I got that nice results. And by the way, I kept these plants. You can look, they have a nice color. I kept these plants indoor and using these LED lights. If you want to know more about LED lights, I will put the video on a card so you can go and check that video too about which kind of LED lights you can use for these coleus plants if you don't have enough sunlight, or keep these plants all year long like me indoor in addition to outdoor. So for pruning, what you need to consider, you need to have 4 leaves at the top, 2 up to 4 leaves at the top, which contains 2 nodes, and you need to have 1 or 2 nodes without leaf to put in a water or potting mix directly to grow roots. And you can have a long, bigger branches, bigger cuts, and then make like 2 or 3 cuts from the same cuts. For example, if you look at this one here, I can start cutting from here. So this will be a big cut, and I'll make at least 2 or 3 new cuts from this one. So I told you we need to have 2 or 4 cuts, and we need to have 2 nodes without leaves. So just okay, look at here. So here we have 1 node here. I'm removing leaves, and another node here. So we will have 2 nodes and 2 to 4 leaves, and this is very nice one. It will grow roots in a couple of weeks, and we will have new plants. Same thing here. So this one I will have a little bit more nodes, like 3 nodes. We don't need those many, but the same thing, these will grow new plants. Some people just keep the top parts, but this will be a new plant, so there is no reason to throw it away. So I'll speed up the process, and you can see how many cuts I will get from this coleus plant. Don't worry about the coleus. Don't worry that even I'm thinking that I can remove some of these big branches, but just I want to keep some leaves and not pushing it too much, and just I don't want to put too much stress on this plant, so I'm keeping some leaves and some cuts, but I will remove these small branches from bottom because I want to keep these plants like tree to have something woody like this one. You can see it's more woody, and these are newer. So these are older, like from a year ago. This plant is at least 2 years ago. I tried to keep it small, as you can see in this. This is a small pot, but you can see it became woody. So I will remove anything that's growing from bottom part of the plant, but I think right now it's good. So let's take a look from one plant how many cuts I got. Just the 1, 13 and 14. So from one jar, one plant, I got 14 new cuts, and I'll guarantee all of them they will root, and all of them make new plants. So in a month or two, I will have 14 new plants from this variety, and I'll update you results on this one, and I'm pretty sure this will be a bushy one. So I need to make a decision whether after a couple of weeks add fertilizer to this one, or just changing it potting mix and give it like better and bigger space. Let's have a short and detailed story on how to grow Coleus from seeds. In next few minutes you will learn all details you need to successfully grow Coleus. For this video I'll put it in the context of a short story with all details you need to successfully grow Coleus from seeds. So stay with me in next few minutes. A few months ago in one of my videos I showed these nice mosaic Coleus which was flowering. Unfortunately, when Coleus start to flowering, at the end they will die. I harvested seeds from that Coleus and kept those seeds, and I can use these seeds to grow new beautiful mosaic Coleus like the mother plant that you can see it. First of all, you need seeds. In this case I kept the seeds from these mother plant, but you can buy seeds, or you can, if you have a mother plant, you can harvest seeds. To harvest seeds you need to have a plant with a mature flower spikes like this one, and wait to be completely mature, and then you can harvest seeds. In few months I will lose these plants, but I will harvest like many seeds, and I can grow it again and have many of the same plants. That it's really gorgeous and beautiful, and I like it. For my mosaic plants, I will jump into the result first. Look at these gorgeous, beautiful wizard mosaic Coleus, nicely grown. These are around 2.5 months, like 75 days, and they are ready to go into the next pot. To tell you what's happened for this pot, if you go back to this video, you can see that mother plant exactly grown. I had mother plant in the exactly same pot. So when mother plant died, and when the mother plant, she had the mature flowers and mature seeds, some of the seeds followed from plant into the pot, and just I add some water and I kept it, and after 1 or 2 weeks I saw these two beautiful plants start to grow, and after 2.5 months you can see they are reaching to this size. So what we need for Coleus, first you need to sow seeds. What do you need is a potting mix. It's a normal potting mix. You can add a little bit more Fertilize. Let's grow these tiny Coleus seeds. So just I took 6 seeds because I don't need many. Already I have 2 plants and I'm keeping them indoors, so these 6 will be more than enough, plus these 2 that are already grown. So just you need to put these seeds on the potting mix surface, like on in the different places. The only thing you need to do is to spray water. So easy. If you stress a little bit, you can cover with a thin layer of the potting mix, but They are very nice and they can grow easily without any additional help. Just I need to put information. And let's wait for the results. In 2 months we will have these beautiful plants, and keep it in a warm place. So it depends on your place and temperature and whether how much the potting mix is moist or not. It takes 1 to 4 weeks to plant to start to grow, and it takes 2 to 3 months to be ready to transfer to new pots or to outdoor or start pruning. There is a point here. You can cover the pot with a plastic bag or cap to keep moisture in the potting mix, but if you are keeping it indoor and you have like checking it regularly, you don't need to put those cap or plastic bag on it. This video is completely different with all other videos about Coleus plants. In this video, you will see 9 different fun and interesting points about Coleus, and I bet you don't know some of them. Let's jump into the video.
1. Color chameleons. Did you know Coleus plants are like living paint palettes? Their vibrant colors aren't from pigments like flowers, but specialized light-reflecting cells. These cells change based on sunlight exposure, making Coleus appear to have a dazzling array of colors. 2. Fashionable foliage. Coleus wasn't always a household favorite. Back in the Victorian era, these plants were a symbol of wealth and status. Wealthy families competed to have the most unique and vibrant Coleus varieties in their gardens. 3. Sun or shade. They don't mind. Coleus is a versatile plant that thrives in both sunny and shady locations. In bright sunlight, the colors become more intense, while shady areas encourage lusher foliage growth. This makes them a great choice for gardeners with a variety of lighting conditions. 4. Mint mischief. Believe it or not, Coleus is actually a close relative of the mint family. While they don't have the minty scent, both Coleus and mint plants belong to the Lamiaceae family, sharing some similar characteristics. 5. Nature's bug repellent. Coleus might be a feast for the eyes, but it's not so appealing to some pesky insects. The strong scent of their leaves can actually deter mosquitoes and other bugs, making them a natural insect repellent for your patio or balcony.
By the way, if you like this video that I made, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel.
6. A cutting advantage. Coleus is incredibly easy to propagate. Simply snip a stem, place it in water, and watch it sprout roots. This allows you to easily multiply your favorite Coleus varieties and share them with friends or create a mini indoor forest. 7. Coleus plants can improve air quality. Studies suggest they can help remove indoor pollutants like benzene and formaldehyde, making your home environment a little bit healthier. 8. Fit for royalty. In some cultures, Coleus is more than just a decorative plant. In India, for example, specific Coleus varieties are believed to bring good luck and prosperity, making them popular additions to homes and businesses. 9. A global citizen. Coleus is a true globe-trotting plant. Originally native to Southeast Asia, enthusiastic plant explorers brought it to Europe in the 18th century. Today, Coleus varieties can be found beautifying gardens and homes all over the world.
Discover 6 science-based tips for reviving wilted plants like Coleus in just 1 minute. 1. To provide enough light for plant revival, it is important to ensure that the plant is placed in an area with adequate sunlight exposure, or supplement with artificial light if needed. 2. Adding a small amount of fertilizer, such as a balanced, water-soluble formula, can provide essential nutrients to the plant and help promote healthy growth. 3. When pruning dead or damaged plant parts, it is important to use clean, sharp tools and make clean cuts close to the main stem to stimulate new growth and prevent further damage to the plant. 4. Adjusting the temperature and humidity levels can be done by placing the plant in a suitable location, using a humidifier or dehumidifier if necessary, and avoiding exposure to extreme temperatures or drafts to promote plant health. 5. Repotting the plant, especially if it has outgrown its current container or the soil has become depleted, can provide fresh nutrients and improve drainage for the plant to thrive. 6. Using a well-draining potting mix, such as one that includes perlite or vermiculite, can prevent waterlogging and root rot by allowing excess water to drain properly and promoting a healthy root system. If you would like to learn more about how to revive plants, be sure to check out episode 2 of this series in the following video. Coleus plants are popular for their colorful foliage and easy care, but they can be prone to wilting if not watered properly. By understanding the watering needs and strategies for Coleus plants, it is possible to promote healthy growth and prevent wilting. Here are 7 watering tips to help revive wilted Coleus plants and maintain their vibrancy. 1. Water wilted Coleus plants thoroughly until the soil is moist, but avoid overwatering to prevent root rot. 2. Coleus plants prefer consistent soil moisture and may wilt if the soil is too dry or too wet. 3. Watering deeply and less frequently can help promote deep root growth and prevent surface-level moisture evaporation. 4. Applying a layer of compost or organic matter to the soil around the plant can help retain moisture, improve soil structure, and provide nutrients for healthy growth. 5. Watering in the early morning or late afternoon can help reduce water loss due to evaporation during peak sun hours. 6. It's important to monitor the soil moisture level regularly and adjust watering frequency based on the plant's needs and environmental conditions. 7. In hot and dry weather conditions, misting the leaves of the plant with water can help reduce water loss through transpiration and prevent wilting.